You ever walk into your own place and feel like a stranger? That's what hit me right in the gut that day today. I walked into Ellie's Grill Undercover. Just tried to taste the soul of a place that carried my grandmother's name and wondering if there was even any soul left. They say, if you want the truth, watch how folks treat someone they think can't do a thing for them. That line kept ringing in my head as I stepped under that flickering green and yellow neon, heart pounding harder than I'd admit. I hadn't been through those doors as just a customer in over a year, always too busy being the boss, too busy managing from a distance, thinking that would keep everything afloat. But the complaints had started trickling in, not just online, but from people I trusted, whispers that didn't sound like my spot. So I did what most owners wouldn't. I dressed down, hiding in plain sight with ripped jeans, a faded hoodie, Braves cap pulled low. Nobody looked twice at me as I walked in, right during the lunch rush, 12:46 p.m. Sharp. First thing I noticed was the smell: brisket, cornbread, barbecue sauce, so sharp it almost made my eyes water. For a second, I felt like a kid again in Ellie's kitchen. Then reality snapped back. I looked around. Not one person greeted Minute, even a nod. Kendall, a tall, skinny cashier with twists, was glued to his phone behind the counter. Marina, chewing gum like she wanted the whole room to know it, just called out next, not even looking up. I ordered a pulled pork sandwich, side of baked beans. She didn't even pretend to care. Just tapped my order in and shoved me aside. I should have known right then, but it got worse. As I waited, I heard Kendall snicker, another walk-in, probably off Peachtree. But he don't even tip. Marina la fid loud, careless. Ever since they started hiring from that shelter program, this place has gone downhill. Then she added, they say the owner's some rich black dude, but he never comes around, probably in Buckhead, drinking green juice. I felt my jaw tighten, anger bubbling, but what hit me hardest was the disappointment. This place wasn't just a restaurant. It was supposed to be a second chance for folks like Mefix who'd been overlooked, just like Ellie used to give. Now these kids were my grandmother's name and didn't give a damn. I glanced around. An old man in a suit scowling into his coffee. A mom juggling a fussy toddler, ignored by the servers. No laughter, no warmth, just noise. Ellie wouldn't have recognized her own place. I walked back up and said, cancel that sandwich. Kendall barely looked up. You sure? Yeah. Lost my appetite. I stepped out, got in my car, and just sat there, fingers drumming the steering wheel. It stung more than I want to admit, realizing they didn't know me and, honestly, didn't care. But that was just the beginning. I needed to see how deep this route went. So I waited. Watched folks come and go, a teenager in uniform, a construction worker shaking dust off his boots, a couple arguing quietly in a booth. This place, it was supposed to feel like family, like Ellie. Now it felt hollow. After a while, I slipped around the back through the alley. There's a kitchen window cracked open above the steel door smoke break spot. From inside, I caught Big Reggie's laughs. The grill master used to be down bad, turned his whole life around here. He was telling the younger guys, man, boss ain't ever coming back. If he does, it'll be with TV cameras and speeches. Marina chimed in, Mr. Ghost Boss, that's what I call him. Got his picture on the wall, never shows up. But then, Reggie spoke up, voice low and steady. Y'all know he started this place with $200 and a smoker in his driveway, right? Some of us remember what this place used to mean. Silence. Then Kendall scoffed. If you don't care enough to show up, why should we? Reggie, bless him, said, respect goes both ways. And that hit me hard. I let get this far. You can't plant a garden and forget to water it, Ellie used to say. I'd hired good people, then vanished, thinking the seeds would tend themselves. Maybe worse than being a bad boss is being an absent one. That night, I sent out a message. Team meeting, 9 a.m. Sar, no exceptions. I didn't explain, didn't sugarcoat, just enough to rattle them. Spent the night in a cheap motel, thinking about every mistake. Next morning, I showed up early, no disguise, just myself. Watched them trickle in. Marina, late, glued to her phone. Kendall, earbuds in, smirking at something on his screen. Reggie, first one there, opening up like always. Then Charisse, a cook I hired right out of culinary school when nobody else would give her a shot. When I finally walked in, you could feel the air change. I let the silence hang, then started. This place is named for my grandmother, Ellie Mae Ellington. She fed people whether they could pay or not, gave second chances, believed nobody was broken, just overlooked. I wanted Ellie's grill to be her kitchen, just bigger. But yesterday, I walked in and didn't recognize what I built. I told them exactly what I'd seen and heard how it made me feel. I built this place from nothing, but somewhere along the line, I let things slide. That's on me. But that disrespect, that carelessness, that's on you. Nobody moved. Marina looked down. Kendall tried to look bored, but I could see the panic. I wasn't there to yell. I was there to fix. Some of y'all still carry the heart of this place, I said, glancing at Reggie. Others? You've been grabbing checks and treating this spot like it's beneath you. That ends today. Tiana, a server, spoke up. Didn't know you were watching like that, Mr. Ellington. Thank you for showing up. I nodded. I should have done it sooner. Then I laid out the plan. Monthly check-ins, real feedback from real customers. Me back on site twice a week. If you don't want to be here, don't clock in. If you can't bring respect, you're free to go. I took Kendall and Marina aside. Gave them a chance to talk straight. Kendall just shrugged. It's a job, not personal. I told him, you've been cashing the wrong kind of check. This place was never just about food. Marina said, you weren't around, so we figured it didn't matter. Fair, I admitted. But that doesn't justify mocking people or running your mouth about staff you barely know. They listened quiet, actually listening. I wasn't firing anyone. Not yet. You've got one shot to prove you belong. Not with words how you treat people. If you can't, walk out. The day rolled on. Marina tried awkward, but she tried. Kendall, quieter, still hiding out. But then a young man in a worn hoodie, new to the shelter program, walked in. Isaiah. Nervous as hell. Reggie gave him a nod. You got this. Marina took his order, a little softer this time. Reggie handed over the food with a smile and a fist bump. That's the spark right there, a kind that changes a shift. By the end of the day, the tip jar was full, the kitchen clean, people lingering. Culture wasn't fixed, but for the first time in a while, you could feel it shifting. The next morning, I called everyone in and laid out 2 folders. One for folks who wanted to stay and be part of what this place stands for: heart, respect, showing up. The other for anyone ready to move on. No hard feelings, 2 weeks pay, a recommendation letter. Don't stay just to clock in, I told them. That's not fair to anyone, especially not the people we serve. Reggie signed the stay folder first. This place saved me. Time to return the favor. Then Charisse, Tiana. But it wasn't all roses. Marina came to me that afternoon, said she needed to go. I was chasing a paycheck. You need people who chase purpose. Il hangs here for here honesty. Kendall waited till close, said he wanted to stay, wanted to do better. Don't make me regret it, I told him. He promised he wouldn't. A week later, Ellie's grill felt different. Not louder, not flashier, just right. People greeted customers like neighbors. Joked without meanness. Clean because they cared. Word spread out online, but person to person, the old way. The place was still imperfect. One neon tube kept flickering out, but I left it that way. It reminded me there was always room to grow, just like us. At closing, Charisse handed me a note left by a regular. Thought I lost the feeling when it changed. But today it felt like Ellie again. Whoever she was, I can tell she's still here. Thank you. I tucked it in my pocket, where it'd stay for good luck. I stood outside, looked up at that sign, and whispered, we're still watering, Grandma. You know what I mean? Culture doesn't fix itself. Respect needs maintenance. Second chances need space. Never assume your job is done just because you built something strong. Show up for your people, your purpose, yourself. And if you're hearing this, if it hits you somewhere real, share it. Not for me. For somebody out there who stopped showing up, who forgot what they built. Remind them it's never too late to walk back in and fix what matters.